inspirational speech is like magic. Today, we will define what is that special sauce? What is that magic of the inspirational speech? I'll give you a wonderful example of an inspirational speech, and I'll give you some tools for your toolbox. An inspirational speech, it's a transformational story. Yes, it's a story. It's interesting. It's a story of transformation that transforms the audience. It's very emotional. It's a speech that has a lot of meaning. Don't get it confused with a motivational speech. Motivational speech is one where they want action at the end of it. Here's a really short motivational speech. Nose picking increases your risk of Alzheimer's. Keep your fingers out of your nose. How's that for motivational? You probably remember that next time you get the urge. That's motivational. Last week, Mara did a wonderful speech 5 years later about her transformation in the last 5 years with Toastmasters. Beautiful speech, highly inspirational. Sonal, she gives inspirational speeches all the time. I love the way she talked about learning to swim and learning to ski and all the challenges and the joy that she feels now that she can do it. That I feel inspired. An inspirational speech is about storytelling because storytelling is the best. It's the foundational way for you to emotionally connect with your audience. Here's my inspirational speech. Ashley is my niece. She's one of the most resilient people I've ever met. When she was 3 years old, she was plunged head and hands first into a bonfire. She lost the ends of fingers. She had the most horrible scarring on her face. The medications turned her almost completely deaf. And this was a 3-year-old. You would think that she would have this wonderful family and community around her, but no, both of her parents were alcoholics. And once they split up, her mother became a drug addict. The area where she grew up was the Appalachian poverty belt. And yet this little girl, face full of scars, disabilities, she took dance lessons. She did ballet, she did tap, she played softball. She took up photography when she got a little older. Luckily, once she became a teenager, they could do some skin grafting, so she did have smooth places on her face. They gave her cochlear implants so she could hear. But what a life that little girl had. Once she graduated high school, she started working at a bank, and she has been working there for 10 years. She did not pick up the substance abuse issues of her parents. She has a wonderful relationship with a wonderful young man who has not only a car and a job, but he owns his own house. That is resilience. That is inspirational to me. In the body of your speech, you had challenges, incredible challenges, and then that transformation. And I'll bet you will respond with some sort of transformation. Eventually, Ashley pulled up her little business. She's a professional photographer. That's her side hustle. So here are some tools for your toolbox. How do I put together this transformational, this inspirational speech? Well, you start with your regular speech format. It starts with your introduction, you've got the body of your speech, and you've got your conclusion, just like a regular speech. But then it's really tricky that you know your audience. There are certain audiences you may not want to use that particular speech with, so figure out what might resonate with them. And then have your uplifting story and plug that in. When you're doing that, remember that you need to stay on point. And this holds true with any speech that you will do, is you need to stay with your point. You should be able to express your point in one sentence for any speech that you give, and everything that you say in that speech should support that main point. So stay on point. And the pause. If you are making a meaningful speech, the pause is super powerful, as well as eye contact. Keeping that contact with your audience to help propel those emotions and exchange them. You now know that the transformational, the inspirational speech is such a transformative vehicle for you. You know how it works. You've had an example, and you've got a few tools in your toolbox, because the inspirational speech is truly magic. Toastmaster,